What's up, everybody? All right, so today I'm going to go through the platform and off revolution that we use to do 70 million in cash collected on a call funnel. So not revenue, cash collected. And I found a video of myself doing this when we were at about this phase right here, and we had done about 10 million in cash collected. So since then, we've done about 60 million between these two. So today just going to go over basically the offer we were running and the website funnel-ish, but mainly the website that we were using at the time. So future videos will have different pieces of operations, team, tech, scaling, how we've done everything, and then basically just like what's working now as we evolve, because there's a bunch of big changes actually happening right now to bring us into a new level, more or less. But I'm going to go through kind of where we came from in regards to this. So initially, we were running a $27 a month app. So it was a 7 day free trial and then push into a 7 day, or I'm sorry, yes, yeah, a free 7 day trial, $27 a month. There's an OTO for $147. And this was really popular at the time to do, and Facebook costs were slowly increasing, but people were trying to make it work. Long story short is we were not. We were doing like 30K a day, or I'm sorry, 30K a month in and out. So was not good. So eventually we were like, all right, let's move this thing over to a call funnel. And from there, we moved over to WordPress. So this is basically, it's had some weird updates since, but this is basically what we were running. So at this time, it was more of an ovens model, and it had all focus on consumption. So it was all about reviews. It was all about what can they consume prior to getting on the sales call, so that we have a higher chance of doing so. So at this time, right, we had just evolved from this and gone into a VSL call funnel. So at the time, it's opt-in, watch VSL, application, book a call, thank you page, and then all the emails and all the things behind there, pushing them to consume before we then pitch them on the phone, right? Because all of these are coming from cold ad, and with a mid to high ticket thing, you definitely want them to have consumption. So the calls aren't just, a 5% all in all sales per booking. So at the time, this offer was an info product. So it was Kajabi hosted course. It had group coaching calls and a community. So very simple, classic stack. And we started off by testing it 497, and this was 5 years ago, maybe now at this point, 4 or 5 years ago. So tested it at 497 and started doing 80K months, then 100K, then 200 and something, then 400, and just like up into the right. So this is how we hit our first $1 million months. It was right here. So that was all on this platform using WordPress. And again, the tech stack doesn't actually matter, which is the funny part. Like the website doesn't matter. You could do it on ClickFunnels, you could do it on Webflow. But this is just what we used at the time, because for us, it was like, oh, we really want to push resources and have content heavy so that there's more or less like a flywheel that they can just exist on. So this site's a little slower now because it's on like a backup version. But essentially, this was the gist, right? Is like finally have things that have CTAs on them, like sticky CTAs and just like longer form pushed consumption with just when they're done, they roll into the next thing. So this is the site that we use to do 60 something million right here. So it looked a little prettier. It's since like broken with plugins and stuff, but it was rough. It was rough, no doubt. So the actual funnel itself is also on here. So on just standalone pages. So the opt, VSLs, app, booking, and thank you are on here just on the back of the site or on solo pages, not necessarily linked out from the front. But yeah, so this was kind of the gist. So over that time, we went to this, and then we actually added in these two as well while still on WordPress. Okay, so the offer changed, but then the entire platform stayed the same because it didn't need to. So it was really even close to the same DSL and same style. We just changed what we were selling, and that alone was like right there uptick because we had never gotten over, I believe, probably like 1.2, maybe ish, selling the info product, and it was one-time access. So margin was good in terms of no fulfillment, but margin was not good in terms of no retention, no future money, and the ticket being lower, right? So we decided to transition over to one-to-one coaching. So at that time, when we moved over to one-to-one coaching, we really had like a skeleton team of like actual coaches to fulfill on it. So it was us in the background doing it. And mainly the brand face and founder at the time was leading that department. But so over time, this took over the entire company. So this became like only thing we could sell, only thing we would sell. And we got rid of this info product and completely just phased it out. we transitioned over this is when we started doing one, two, three, almost four. We never hit four as of whatever it is, March of 2025. We haven't hit four a month yet, but we were steady state in that range. And across that time, we used to sell this for like $300 a month. It was crazy. And then over that time, we've just transitioned out. So it's annual only recurring programs. Um, Thumbs up. It's annual only recurring programs. It is $7,200 a year in current form. We have financing options that would make it more than $7,200 in-house. So, like three pays, two pays, stuff like that. And then we also have external financing where you just throw $1,000 on top of the ticket just because you have to cover fees and do all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, it's the general gist. And then this is where we transition to as of 2025 early. And this is much more the feel of what we're going for. So this is branded like no other. This is the style we want. All of the graphics, everything is up to date. The funnel itself is actually also on here on the back end. But yeah, so the whole site got just like this crazy overhaul. So same goal and same idea, just with a better look, right? So consumption, very focused on keeping people in this flywheel of being able to, I don't know if you know if you call that flywheel, but you understand what I mean. In the blog so that they can just keep consuming content. We have macros, mindset, menopause, muscles, and then each one's broken down by reads and watches. So all the YouTube videos end up on here. Like, but this is just a classic example. We're constantly changing things. The video description here, this is terrible for search, so we're rebuilding these with AI to have like full, proper headlines, subheadlines, and information based on transcripts throughout these videos because we have so much content. And then yeah, CTAs all throughout, all pushing to apply, and then this is where they enter basically middle of funnel. So, um, which at some levels top of funnel, but so add, opt-in, VSL application this is that application. So people who are already on the site, idea being they have as much consumption at some level and they can come in here directly. So yeah, so then they apply, book a phone call, and then I'll have future videos where we have like crazy stuff for routing and qualifications and going to setters here soon versus going to closers directly. And all that kind of jazz. But yeah, so that's kind of the general gist. And then the other piece of the site I did want to show because it's very important or has a ton of views is this review section. So we broke the reviews into transformations, which is basically images of before and afters, and then video reviews, which this is generally speaking the highest performing part of the site. And these are just pop-ups with different videos. We try and get them all in one format, but it's a little tough with the market to get them all consistent. But yeah, so these are the most highly trafficked portion of the website and then also the highest converting. And then client interviews, this is where we're putting a lot of effort in just for more consumption with the same output or with the same style, right? So it's like literally women directly going through their exact journey. And the ones that get viewed on these end up becoming clients. Right. So like if someone watches these and watches a handful of them, and assuming they check XYZ box and they're a good fit, and that we're actually going to like allow them into the program, then um, they buy like almost every time. So, but funny enough, on this, just a quick little thing, I did like a long split test of this page versus this page, or just having this as the default versus this as the default, and this one outperformed by almost double. So people being able to come in here and get quick feedback on this and lead into doing an application, which is what we were optimizing for at the time. So basically, if they come from search, if they come from so branded search, paid, or just kind of some of the other pieces like an email and retargeting, if they come to this page and it's this versus this, it is double the amount of people that went into the application, book a call, and then purchase, right? You just got to assume the downflow. So, yeah, pretty cool. But this is a nonstop evolution. We don't use WordPress for anything. We still use ClickFunnels for order forms. That's what it's all about. That's why we do that, which isn't really the best necessarily. But we use it for all the sales reps order forms. But yeah, so that's kind of the general gist and much, much, much more to come. I agreed that I would go through and start sharing all the stuff like as we build. I found a bunch of old videos earlier this month that were basically me doing this, but just never publishing them and going through them. And I wish I would have because again, we had done 5 million when I started making the first ones, and then 10, and then we just jumped to 70 basically. And with the new evolution, where I'll be able to talk on soon, but we've never done anything low ticket like direct with at scale. We did very initial, so low ticket, mid ticket, so either direct to cart, webinar flows, challenge flows, and then having all of that more or less on the front end of the company with this on the back end. So yeah, it'll be a fun evolution, and I look forward to the update where I can have 3 digits here and some other fun stuff. So hopefully 3 digits a year. So that's the target. But yeah, feel free to comment or message me anywhere, and I'm just gonna keep posting these of different pieces of tech, operations, sales, just growth overall, and like what we're doing now and what we've done in the past. So enjoy.